Mr. Donalds.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Listen, this has actually been a great conversation, Madam Chair. Thank you, and thanking the ranking member, Mr. Luke DeMeyer of Missouri, for really bringing us together as we begin to unwind the PPP program. And I would stress, members, we have to really look at beginning to unwind and sunsetting this program. It's clear that the program, obviously, we designed it to challenge and to help the challenge of the COVID-19 crisis with the rate of vaccinations that are occurring in the United States amongst the vulnerable populations, people over the age of 65. Also combined with the facts that you have many states that have already begun reopening, we have to make a decision here. And one of the clear decisions is, are we going to continue for how long this loan guarantee program? One of the things that actually really came out to me during this testimony from all of the witnesses is that one of the issues isn't really per se PPP in and of itself, but it is an ongoing issue in the United States, and that is the lack of community banks to address all of the financing needs of small businesses and micro businesses in communities both rural and urban and suburban across the United States. And if this Congress is going to take this matter seriously, we have to begin to take a look at the statutory and regulatory environment upon which community banks have to operate under, which is why, in part, we've seen an almost 50% decline in the amount of community banks in the United States, since the passage of Dodd-Frank more than a decade ago. So I think it's time that this body begin to take even more steps to allow the community banking industry to flourish in the United States, so we actually can address systematically the issue of banking deserts, the issues of access to capital, the issues to actually help all of our small businesses and micro businesses, whether they happen to be led by women or minorities or anybody else who operates businesses here in the United States. Really, I just have one question, and it's a piggyback off of the question from Ms. Kim of California, and it's directed to Ms. Kennedy. Ms. Kennedy, real briefly, if Congress decided to extend the PPP program, how long of an extension do you think will be needed to clear the current backlog to help those business owners who have applied but they're waiting to get through their hold codes and the like?
Thank you so much for the question. You know, my association, NADCO, we have not taken a firm position on the amount of time. But from talking to our staff, we believe 60 to 90 days would give the time to address some of those error codes and to try and make sure these Schedule C businesses get the help that they need after getting the application just approved on March 3rd. There are so many businesses who need to make sure that they can qualify with the new guidelines of Schedule C, and there are a number of businesses that need that help. So from our personal advantage, a 60 to 90 day could certainly help us to get through some of our backlog.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kennedy. And Ms. Frazier, same question to you. I know the banking community obviously is looking very closely at this. And, you know, obviously you guys have a continued relationship with SBA. As a former credit officer in a bank, I've always enjoyed my dealings with the SBA, and yes, I'm being highly sarcastic. But, you know, Ms. Frazier, with respect to your industry group, what would you guys recommend to Congress if we decided to actually make a temporary extension to unwind the backlog?
First of all, I want to thank you for your support of community banks. We really appreciate that. And secondarily, in response to your question, we don't have a specific timeline, but I think in agreement with Ms. Kennedy's time frame, I think 60 to 90 days should certainly allow for the errors to be resolved overall and to accommodate the changes or allow the borrowers that are now eligible under the new changes to get through the pipeline.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Frazier. Thank you, witnesses, for your time. Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.